So let's go back to the four ways you could make more money and mitigate the risks. Number one was revenue, increase your prices. Number two was revenue, increase your volumes. Number three was reduce your costs, all very simple. Number four is perhaps where it gets a little trickier, but you could improve your sales mix. So sales mix means the different rates of margin you get on different products or services. So sales of services or products generally have different rates of profitability. It's probably easiest to show this as an example. So let's say you have three products, product A, product B, and product C. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. This is boring enough as it is. So let's make this a bit more fun. Let's say you are an online audio platform and you sell music singles, music albums, and celebrity playlists. And let's say you charge singles at 79p. For argument's sake, let's say an album sells at 5.99 and a celebrity playlist is sold for 69p per song. The consumer must buy the whole playlist, and so 69p times the number of songs in the playlist. So if I asked a child which of these should I want to sell more of right now, they would say the album. Or if they're a little older, they would ask the celebrity playlist, assuming it has more than 9 songs. Why? Because it sells at the highest price. But of course, you're not thinking that. The question is, what does each product cost to sell? So this is not including your company overheads or costs to maintain the website. I want to know what is the direct cost for each sale. In this case, it almost certainly relates to royalties to the artist. Well, let's say royalties on singles are 40p per song, unless the customer buys a whole album. So album royalties are simply £4 per album. So here we go. Let's look at the margins on this really cool sales mix. Singles sell for 79p, they cost 40p, a gross profit of 39p, and a gross profit margin of 49.4%. An album could vary in the number of songs, however, they sell for £5.99, they cost £4, a gross profit of £1.99 per album, and a gross profit margin of 33.2%. And the celebrity playlist, we don't actually know the full sales prices for this because it varies, but consumers pay less per song. Presumably, it is made up of more than one song. And so effectively the sales price is more, aka more revenue for us. So we sell them at 69p per song. We pay a royalty of 40p per song, make a gross profit of 29p and a gross profit margin of 42%, regardless of the number of songs on the playlist. So we clearly make more money per sale through single sales than we do through either celebrity playlists or albums, but only assuming we can sell more volumes of singles as a ratio to the other two. Let's now relate this to our company's revenue. Let's say each month we earn £10,000. This has typically been made up of 40% single sales, 50% album sales, and 10% celebrity playlists. So there's our revenue split by revenue stream, and that's a profit of £4,056 or 40.6%. There's two things to note here. If we were looking to increase the prices of any of these revenue streams, we should clearly be increasing the price of the album. Do people buy the album because they get economy of scale? I have no idea. One thing's for sure, you certainly want to encourage me to buy an album ahead of me buying the singles. So you now want to almost deter me from buying an album in favour of a single. So let's see what happens if through proper business management, you encourage more people to buy singles and celebrity playlists ahead of albums. And here's the key. Let's keep revenue for the month at £10,000. You have the same number of customers and in effect the same number of sales per month. But if you could increase the number of single sales to say 50%, album sales to 30%, and celebrity playlists to say 20%, and your revenue per month is still just £10,000, your gross profit is now £4,306 or 43.1%. So that's an extra £250 for every £10,000 in sales. And you might be thinking that's not much, but I haven't increased my prices, which was point one. I haven't increased my volumes, point two, and I haven't renegotiated any costs, point three. And I've still made more money. And that is pretty much the end of that section. But here's a very quick question to finish off. What are the circumstances whereby you wouldn't look to reshift your company's strategy and focus more on singles than celebrity playlists and especially albums? It would be where sales of albums are far easier to come by, or maybe volumes of sales in albums is set to skyrocket. Maybe you actually are encouraging people to buy albums through its current price. Also, perhaps there are other perhaps there are other reasons, maybe other hidden costs to selling a single, more administration or higher advertising costs, because it's not always about margins, of course. In this example, consumers actually need to buy more than 5 singles to make the same actual profit as an album. But that, in effect, is your sales mix, and that is the conclusion of point four and almost the conclusion to this webinar. For many of you, there will not have been anything new here, but the question to you then is, are you doing it? You need to add these tips to your objectives for this year. Just very quickly, some other operational risks that you should keep under control or at least monitor. Cyber attack or data security, IT failure in general. If any of these fail, your business may be on pause for a long time. Employee risks, perhaps they leave, they're sick for a long period of time or just really poor at their job. Regulation changes, keep an eye on this. This was massive for one of my clients when the GDPR regulations came into force. Another for them was when someone like Google changes their search or advertising algorithms. This is all assuming you're in the paid media industry. But I urge you to continuously review what risks relate to your business and either reduce it, transfer it, avoid it, or accept it. But make sure you know what the risks are and what risks you're willing to take. If you can increase your cash flows whilst reducing the risks in your business, you will increase the value of your business, I promise you. And that's me done. Thank you for attending, and are there any questions?